Hey everyone, welcome to the Wilson Homestead. I'm down here in the veggie garden. I've got some beautiful flowers right here in front of me, and if you look in the background, you can see that there are several ripe tomatoes back there. That's why I wanted to bring you along with me today, because I'm going to do a tomato harvest. Now, not all of the varieties are ripe yet, but I wanted to give you a look at the ones that are so you can see the difference in the color variations and the size and all of that. I have gotten a few large tomatoes out of here already. I think it was last week I started harvesting, and I got one black creme and a few Amish paste tomatoes and some cherry tomatoes, and that has been about it so far. But here pretty soon they're going to start coming in like crazy. I also have a few peppers down here that I want to harvest while you're with me. Some of them have actually changed colors and they're really pretty, so let's get to it. I'm going to start here with the Amish paste tomatoes. Now, I have already harvested 3 of these, and they're inside on my kitchen counter. They are pretty productive, but they also get very sick very fast. But you can see I've got quite a few green ones still on here to pick, so hopefully these plants can hang on until we get these big ones ripened. I do have one right here that I'm going to harvest. Now, the other ones that I harvested were quite a bit bigger than this, probably twice the size of this one. But these are a paste tomato, so they're really good for making like pasta sauce or pizza sauce or ketchup, barbecue sauce, those kind of things. Now, this plant I labeled as a hillbilly, but it's obviously a Juliet. I have grown Juliet for several years, and they're just a really good, almost like a aroma style tomato. They're really tasty. I just like to eat them fresh, but you can also use these for sauce. Next up, this is a mortgage lifter. This is a West Virginia heirloom. That's why I started growing these, because I live in West Virginia, so I thought that they would probably do really well here. They're just a basic red beefsteak tomato. I think I'm going to give that one another day, but you can see I've got quite a few fruit still on this one, and disease. I know I haven't been keeping up with cutting these leaves off because I just don't have time with all of the canning and harvesting I've been doing. This is a Paul Robeson. They are a dark tomato. These haven't been actually very big, so I don't know if that's typical of this type. This is the first year I've ever grown it, I think. And here is my favorite of all time cherry tomato. These are black cherries. Another dark tomato with green shoulders. These are so tasty. They almost taste smoky. I can't wait to eat this. This is the first one I've picked off of this plant. And I think that I'm going to give that one another day. Now, I was supposed to have 3 of these plants, but obviously I mislabeled these 2. These are some kind of beefsteak. These actually might be, since they're starting to turn red like this, I'm kind of leaning towards these are a mortgage lifter. That's the only other red tomato that I'm growing besides the paste tomato, so the Amish paste tomato. So I don't know. I don't know what I did. I got really mixed up though, apparently. Oh well, what can you do? These are white cherries. They're just a really pale yellow whenever they're ready to harvest. And the same goes with these berries, crazy cherries, another yellow variety. Now, these plants also got really sick too. So I don't know if I will grow them again. They taste really good, I think. I was really surprised that I like these paler tomatoes, because I grew Great White one year and I wasn't really fond of it. So I was expecting that I wouldn't like these, and that these would be the favorite of my husband because he likes the yellow tomatoes that are less acidic. But I actually really like them too, so that's a plus. But you can see just how sick these are too. So I don't really know if it's worth it to grow these again. Now, these 3 plants down here are supposed to be blue creamberries, but this farthest plant down here, and I haven't tried these are the first ones I've picked, but this one looks like what the picture did that I on the website where I bought the seeds. This is what they're supposed to look like. Now, my other 2 plants have these tiny little tomatoes that are turning purple. So I don't know what these are. And I know that I didn't mix these up because I don't think I'm growing anything else that looks like this. So that's kind of a bummer. But I will save some seeds from these so that way I have them for next year if I like the flavor. Here's the ones from the other plant, and you know, they might be correct. Maybe it's just that these are getting a little bit more sun than the other ones were. That could have been the problem. These next 3 plants I have been pretty impressed with. These are another Wild Boar Farms variety. They're pink Berkeley tie-dye. Now, I haven't got to eat any of them yet, but that's going to be happening probably this evening because I have several ripe ones on here. And these are just beautiful. And look at some of these massive tomatoes that I have on here, and they are just loaded down with beautiful striped fruit. Look how gorgeous that is. I hope they taste as good as they look, because these are really heavy producers. I think that these and the black creme are probably my heaviest producers. I don't know, I've got some Aunt Rubies that have a lot of tomatoes on it too, but oh man, I'm so happy with that. There's my beautiful tomato basket. Oh, I'm so excited for tomato sandwiches. My husband is going to be so sick of tomato sandwiches because I'm probably going to be serving that every day for a week. I'll give you a quick look here at my Aunt Ruby's German greens. See, they're pretty loaded down too, but none of these are ripe yet. But there's a lot of good fruit in here. Look at this massive one right here. And this one is starting to blush a little bit. You have to really pay close attention to these green varieties or you'll miss the window whenever you need to pick them. Right next to it, I have another Wild Boar Farm variety. This is pork chop, and it's looking pretty promising too. And I think this one is supposed to be green and yellow striped, but I can tell you that Brad Gates, he makes some of the most beautiful tomato varieties that I've ever seen. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull up the rest of these onions while I'm down here. We're supposed to get rain later, and I don't want these to get rained on. Most of them are pretty much done for. You can see that the stems are bent over, so that means that they're done growing. So I'm going to gather all of these up, and then we'll pick peppers. Look at that one. gonna go ahead and pull these brune shallots too. They look like they're about done. They're still upright, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to wait for them to flop too. I don't know. But some of them are kind of floppy and look done for. So I'm gonna go ahead, I mean this bed has been taken over by weeds anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull all these out. So that way I can clean this bed out and maybe put some lettuce and some cabbage and stuff like that in for fall. This has definitely been the best onion year that I've ever had. I mean, some of these Patterson onions are really big. They turned out good. Now, there are some small ones in there too, but for the most part, they're about this size right here. And the shallots, they average probably about that size. A few tiny ones here and there. But in the past when I've grown these store for a really long time. So I'm excited to have those. Okay, I got my empty tub, and hopefully I don't get distracted anymore along the way to picking these peppers. I really need to get these picked. I can hear thunder off in the distance, so I am hoping that it goes down the river instead of coming this way. Look at that, pretty Cosmo. Shoot, what kind is it? I told you in an earlier video, now I can't remember. Dream something. No? Maybe not. Hold on, let me see if I can find a tag somewhere. No, I'm not. I'm not looking for the tag. I will tell you later because I keep getting too distracted and I need to pick these peppers. First up, we have banana peppers, and these babies are just loaded down. I think I have 3 plants here, and they're all completely loaded to the point that they're probably going to start falling over. So I'm going to pick the biggest ones off of these, and we'll see what we got. Ooh, I hear the thunder again. I've got to make this quick. Now the smaller ones I'm just going to leave on here so they can get big like these. I mean, some of these are just massive. That was a pretty big harvest off of 3 plants. And those are all good size. And there are still several little ones, smaller ones on there. And up here you can see all these tiny ones. So hopefully we will get another crop off of these before it frosts. Next up we have some King of the North bell peppers. Now most of these are still green. So I think I'm just going to pick the red ones off of this. And I think I'm going to pick this one. It's green, but it's pretty, hold on. Let me see if I can get you a better angle instead of shoving your face into leaves. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one because it looks like a pest has eaten into this, or it got sun scald or something. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this one. It still feels nice and firm, so I can probably chop it up and save it. Instead, like if I would just leave this one here, it would just rot and go to waste. So I'll pick that one and then all of the red ones out of here. That's just a little baby one, but it's nice. Now let me get this one with the spot. See, that's a pretty nice pepper if it wouldn't be for that yucky spot. Okay, I had one more red King of the North bell pepper in there, and this one is shaped really weird. I don't know what happened to him, but he'll still be edible. And I was noticing while I was digging around in here, these plants are loaded, and some of them have some massive peppers on here. See that guy? Oh my goodness. And like these are just flopped over with fruit. So I'm guessing that King of the North is probably going to be in my garden for a good while. Now what I'm going to do is wait until that great big one gets red and pick it, and that'll be the one that I save seeds from for next year. Now since I am growing all different kinds of peppers down here, there is a chance that it might cross with something, but we'll just see what happens. I'm not growing anything hot this year, so I don't have to worry. Like, it will be a sweet pepper because I'm not growing anything hot. Next up, you can see the change in growth habit. I have the King of the North here, and then these little short squatty ones are Golden California Wonder bell peppers. And then back here, these big tall ones are Big Red. So we'll see what we have on those after we get done picking these Golden California Wonder bell peppers. Look down in there. There's a couple ripe ones. Okay, I only picked a couple of the California Wonder bell peppers. These are kind of small, but they're pretty. And there's a little bug bite in that one there, but I think it'll still be okay. There's not really a whole lot of peppers on those plants, so I don't know if I'll plant them again. It could be because I have them in amongst all of these taller plants, and maybe they're just not getting enough sun. But I would kind of like to try next year the variety called Yellow Monster. So maybe we'll switch this one out for Yellow Monster next year. Alright, these big red bell peppers are really loaded down, but there aren't any ripe ones yet. So I'm going to let these go a little bit longer. But you can see there's just peppers everywhere in there. Now my tallest pepper plants by far are these Full Jew jalapenos. And I'm going to go through today and pick mostly everything off of these plants. I wish I could tell you how many plants I have in here, but it's just like a jungle right now. So I'm going to guess I have probably maybe 9 plants in here. I plant them really close together. But anyway, I'm going to go through, pick all of these, and then I am going to make Full Jew jalapeno cowboy candy, which I will probably name Wimpy Cowboy Candy, because it's for me, because I cannot take heat. I don't like spicy food. But there are some red ones in here, and look at that. That has like the veining on it that they tell you, oh yeah, that means that the pepper is really hot. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of concerning to me that they, they do that. Like, are those going to be hot? I don't know. We'll see. But these plants just have peppers everywhere, and they're pretty good size jalapeno peppers. You do realize that you're laying on carrots right now. Do you care? Not really? Okay. Okay, that was 62 peppers, and I was able to count the plants once I got down in there. I have 8 plants, so 62 peppers off of 8 Full Jew jalapenos. And these are some pretty good sized peppers too. I can't wait to make cowboy candy. I'm so excited about that. I wanted to show you how pretty these envy zinnias are. Look at that. That is gorgeous. I really should come down here and cut some of these for some bouquets. Here I have two of the envy zinnias, and in the middle I have the Summer Dreams Cosmos. Now I do think that all of these plants would have probably benefited if I would have pinched them back whenever they were smaller, so that way they would have branched out more instead of just growing like a big long stalk like this. But next year I'll know. I'm not gonna go through and do that now because it's so late in the season. But if I would go through and cut some of these as cut flowers, maybe they would branch out some down here at the bottom. Love it. I ended up with a little over 4.5 pounds of Fulgia jalapenos. Just about 1.25 pounds of bell peppers, and almost 2.5 pounds of banana peppers. So that was about 8 pounds of peppers, if I'm doing my math right, which I think is pretty darn good for a harvest. I also picked an Aunt Ruby's German green tonight, and I wanted to show you what it looks like when, like, this one is just nearly ripe. I went ahead and picked it because we're expecting some rain and I didn't want the flavor to get washed out if we get a heavy downpour. So I went ahead and picked it, but I don't know if the camera will pick up. You can see there's just a slight bit of pink on the end of this tomato. I don't think the camera's doing a very good job of showing it, but anyway, that's kind of what I look for. I go ahead and give every one of these a squeeze just to see if they have any give. Now this one probably needs 2 or 3 more days to get completely ripe, but it has started to show that pink. Maybe you can see it a little bit there. But I'm excited about, this is one of my favorite tomatoes. It has a really good flavor. Like if you put it on a sandwich and closed your eyes, like you wouldn't even know that it's green. Instead it, like, to me it tastes like a really good red tomato. Wow, that was a whole lot of food. I am so pleased with it, and I like when my garden does so well that I have enough to share with other people. I have canned so much stuff this year. I have made several quarts of pickles. I have canned a ton of green beans. In fact, I need to pick beans again, so I will be canning more beans. I have canned peach pie filling, and it was so delicious. It's so much work though, because you got to peel the peaches, and it just takes forever, but it was really good in the end. I think I did 6 quarts of peach pie filling, and it took me all day long to do it. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see, what else have I made? Oh, I've done a bunch of refrigerator pickles. And like I said, I'm going to be making cowboy candy. I put a bunch of diced peppers and onions up in the freezer to use all year. I've got all of the garlic that I harvested that's dried now, and I can get it cleaned up and put away. So the garden has been very good to me this year, and very good to my family. I am keeping a little journal of everything that I processed this year. So I'll have to let you know the tally at the end of the season of, what I got out of the garden this year. And, of course it doesn't include, fresh eating stuff. But, I just like to know what all did I put up. So keeping a journal is a good way to keep track of, what you can expect to get out of your garden. And I like to put the date beside of everything that I put up too, so that way next year I can look back and know, you know, when is this stuff going to start coming in? When do I need to be prepared for this? Alright, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time here on the Wilson Homestead. Bye, guys.